two, 1 2. 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2. Let me make sure the other one. Check the one. Let me check the one on stage. Just make sure you can hear me. 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2. All right. Okay. Let's clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Shalom, Israel. We're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. You see my phone over there? We're bringing this truth since 1969. What's that truth? That truth is the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the true Jews of the Bible, and our oppressors, the devil that the Bible speaks of. Guess what? Guess what this month is? This is Black History Month. You understand? The first thing we think of when we think about Black History Month, who do we think of? Go ahead. Martin Luther King. Black History Month has clouded our minds for decades. We've been hustled. We've been made to think that, Martin Luther King, is Black history. It's the real Black history. We've been made to think Eli Whitney, the cotton gin, is the real Black history. That's it's history. It's Black history. He created it. You understand? But we haven't been really taught the real Black history, the Black history that'll make us open our eyes, that'll make us open our eyes to the atrocities that are happening to us today. You understand? We get blinded by Black History Month, and they show us what they would say is the good. You understand? But they don't show us the real. Well, what we're going to talk about tonight is we're going to talk about the real Black history. We're going to get into some Black history. You understand? They like to throw Sojourner Truth, Martin Luther King. Every once in a while, they even throw Malcolm X in there. You know what I mean? And they make us proud of the advances when we really haven't advanced at all. And the reason why we haven't advanced is because the propaganda has been thrown at us so heavy that we believe we've made strides when we haven't made a stride at all. You understand? We believe that we've made advances in America under this American captivity. You understand? We think, that Black History Month is a great thing, especially when our oppressors start erecting statues to the people that advance their cause. You understand? Namely Martin Luther King. You understand? We always say this, we've been destroyed by integration. Just like Martin Luther King said at the end, he said, I believe I've integrated my people into a burning house. You understand? That house has burned and burned to the ground and disintegrated into ashes. We've been ground into powder. You understand? Think about this, right? Let's say Rosa Parks. We also think about that too, right? We think about Rosa Parks, and what did Rosa Parks do? Go ahead.
She sat down on the bus.
Yeah, yeah, she sat down on a bus. What else did she do?
Uh, if I could, off the top of the dome, I don't know. To be honest, no disrespect to the system, but I don't remember. I can't recall what it told me. All her activities.
Well, even when I was in elementary school, we was always taught Rosa Parks. You know, she she stood up when black people wouldn't stood up. She stood up by sitting down. She wouldn't give up her seat on the bus. You understand? To a white person that wanted to sit down, right? You understand? And a lot of us don't really understand it. That was a lot of propaganda. You understand? Because it was somebody who did that before Rosa Parks. You understand? And the young girl's name was Claudette Colvin. You understand? And Claudette Colvin was the actual one where the bus boycott started, but they used Rosa Parks. And this is how destroyed we are as a people. Now, this is real black history. You understand? This is how destroyed we are as a people because she didn't look the part, because she was too dark and young. You understand what I'm saying? This is the reason why they didn't want to use her. So what they did was they set up, staged that Rosa Parks thing. That's what a lot of people don't know. You understand? The girl's name was Claudette Colvin, right? Yeah, Colvin, right. It says few people know the story of Claudette Colvin when she was 15. She was 15 years old. So she was also a young girl, right? She refused to move to the back of the bus and give up her seat to a white person. That was 9 months before Rosa Parks. Claudette Colvin did it 9 months before Rosa Parks. We're so destroyed as a people, we don't even want to use the real causes. We want to prop and stage. And they used Rosa Parks because she was an older and lighter.
Right.
The people, white people would accept her more than they would a young 15-year-old dark-skinned girl. We destroyed as a people. Even in our black history, a lot of our black history is not even black history. You understand? That's how destroyed America has, that's how much America has destroyed us. You understand? So that's black history. You see them? You feel me? That's black history. You understand? We just like America. America uses lies to propagate America. You understand? And we turn it around being like America, or propagating black history to soothe America. You understand? Instead of telling our own truths. You understand? Instead of telling the truth of what really happened and who it really happened to, we stage events. You understand? That's a destroyed people. You understand? When you fall into the customs and culture of a nation of people that hate you, these are the things that you do. It's just like getting high on the street. You understand? That's not our custom and culture. Right. But when we fall into America, that's what you do. Murdering our own people. We don't do that. That's not in our customs and culture. But when you fall into your enemy's hands and you fall in love with your enemy, you become your enemy. You understand? We talked about it a months ago. I talked about it a couple months ago out on the street. You know, you ever see what's the Star Trek: The Next Generation? Got an entity called the Borg, right? And the Borg went around destroying planets and destroying all of the things on every planet, you were either assimilated into the Borg, or the Borg destroyed you. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what America has done to us. It's either assimilate into us, integrate into us, or be destroyed. The strong of our people, what do? They destroy the strong of our people. You understand? This is what the Borg did. You understand? And the Borg made it seem like being in the Borg was a great thing. It was a nice and great thing to do. You understand? And when they saw people that they knew that got assimilated into the Borg, the person always spoke, oh, it's a beautiful thing being in a Borg and being a part of the Borg. Well, it's the same thing that our leaders do today. America's a great country. They try to get us to assimilate into America, accept homosexuality. You understand?
Right.
Except destroying our own people, except, being homosexuals, except, taking drugs, killing and destroying, robbing, raping, and murdering. All of these customs and cultures are not ours. These are America's customs and culture.
Right.
So now what happens is our Black history becomes America's Black history. It's not our Black history. You understand? These things are not things that are of us. You understand? And we assimilate into America and become America. Remember, whenever you integrate into anything, you become the thing that you integrate into. It doesn't go the other way. Whenever you move into somebody's house, you assimilate to their laws. You assimilate to their rules. You live by their rules. We move into America. We live by American rules. Look at this. Look at the brother Tyree Nichols, murdered by 5 brothers. Right? Why did they murder him?
Because they were indoctrinated with the philosophies of America.
Exactly.
They hate Black people. They want to be a part of America. So they got to be Black people.
Exactly. You understand? Because they have been assimilated into American culture. American culture is destroying Black people. When you assimilate into America, you are privy to destroy Black people. Think about it. Look how they did it, right? They did it in a way where they felt like this was normal. You understand what I'm saying? They felt like, oh, nothing can happen to us. You understand? We ain't do nothing but what white police do every day, right? That's how comfortable they got. They gotten so comfortable that they begin to destroy their own. That's a death sentence in its own. You understand what I'm saying? So we understand that a lot of this Black history is, what do they call it? Propaganda. And we get happy, we celebrate, we do all of this stuff every year. We get happy celebrating Martin Luther King's birthday and Black History Month and do all of this. And then they gave us Juneteenth, another thing of propaganda. Because what did they do with Juneteenth? I ain't trying to get too far off, but what did they do with Juneteenth? They encapsulated it with LGBTQ month.
So I thought, no, you're right. You're right, sir. I was thinking that it was mixed with the LGBTQ was mixed with Martin Luther King Day or something like that. But no, you spot on. I remember Salaki.
Right. Okay, Cap. I got you. I got your message. Yeah, but we have to understand the beast that we live under. You understand? And that's the problem with us now, too. We don't understand the beast that we under. You understand? So now what we get ready to do is we get ready to get into some real Black history. All right? So let me ask a question. Have you ever heard of meritorious manumission? Meritorious manumission. All right. So let me give you a little bit of history on meritorious manumission. Meritorious Manumission Act of 1710 was a law, a legal act freeing slaves for good deeds as defined by the national public policy. Good deeds
Right.
as defined by the national public policy. So how do they define, how do they define a good deed for a slave?
Right.
You understand? What's a good deed to them? What do you think a good deed is?
During that time, sir, it would be during that time, sir, it would be helping them catch a runaway slave.
Right?
Giving intel on slave revolts.
Yep.
That's all I think of.
Yeah, but basically encapsulated, yeah, that's it. You understand? You had to be a snitch, a sellout. You understand? And meritorious manumission rewarded a slave for, now it's a little more than that, right? If you saved the life of a white person, you could be eligible for meritorious manumissions, right? If you save the property, let's just say something got stolen or something was on fire or burning down. If you save the property of a white person, you would be eligible for meritorious manumission. If you came and told your slave owner or any white person of a revolt or people getting together to start a revolt, and that revolt was thwarted, you were eligible for meritorious manumission. Meritorious manumission is the gift of being freed as a slave for turning on your own people, basically. You understand? So, what's defined as a good deed, defined by the national public policy? We're going to get into some scriptures to give us a little bit of insight. All right? Because, like I said, we just said what the good deeds were, right? You had to sell out your own people. We all know what that sounds like. We know what a sellout is, right?
Right.
So now what we get ready to do is we get ready to dig into some scripture and we get ready to see some sellouts. Okay? So the first scripture we want to grab, we want to go straight to First Maccabees. First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 11. Got that? Go ahead.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and 11. 1 and 11. First Maccabees chapter 1 and 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
You heard that? It said, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men. You understand? So that meant these men were Israelites, but they were wicked. You understand? And a lot of times we don't, especially in these days, we don't recognize wicked men. We don't recognize wicked leaders. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why we are easily deceived as a people, because it's bad enough that we can't recognize our own enemies as being wicked. It's bad enough that we look at our oppressor and feel like he's not the wicked one. You understand? So that makes it even harder when our own people sell us down the road. You understand? We can't believe that. Think about this, right? When you look at a lot of these politicians that get elected over and over and over and over again, but the conditions and the situations that we live in never change. Why is that?
So like, they never had our best interests.
Exactly. Because they are wicked men.
Right.
Scripture says in those days went there out of Israel wicked men. The leaders that lead us, because we are in the condition we in, because of the leaders that lead us, the people that we follow. You understand? The TD Jakes, the black commissioners, the black mayors, you understand, black city councilmen, all of these people. These are the wicked leaders. These are the leaders that they're talking about in Israel. These are Israelites. You understand? Who only have their own interests at heart.
Right.
You understand? And this is the reason why we are destroyed people, because we have wicked leaders.
Right.
You understand? That lead us astray. Go ahead.
It's like, who persuaded many?
Say that again.
Who persuaded many?
It says, who persuaded many. We get persuaded every day to go out and vote. Remember that slogan a few years back, vote or die?
Okay.
You understand? We get persuaded. We get persuaded by our leaders. Go to church when it's time to vote. How many times have you heard your pastor say, we need to, in order for your voice to be heard, you got to get out there and vote?
Right.
Think about this though, right? We've been voting since the 50s. We had the right to vote probably in the late 1800s, right?
Right.
And then legally in the 50s, 1965 or something like that. 1965, right? Legally, we could vote in 1960. We've been voting since 1965. And how far have we come from voting? Our brothers and sisters still being murdered, right?
Right.
Still being murdered on the street. We still the last ones fired. I mean, the last one's hired, first one's fired.
Right.
Nothing has changed. All this, think about it, right? Martin Luther King had that march on Washington. He said, we're going to get our check. Did you see that speech?
Yeah,
Said we're going to get our check. This time when we come to Washington, we coming to get our check. Guess who got a check?
Big Six.
Big Six got a check. You understand? He was right. We're going to get our check, but he was talking about the Big Six check.
Right.
You understand? They got $250,000 for that march. They got half before and the other half afterwards. If it's successful, JFK said, we'll give you the other half after. And they got that money. Think about this. That King legacy is still getting money to this day. Still getting money to this day. You know why he's still getting money to this day? Because we still blinded by that I have a dream.
Right.
Not realizing that it is a dream. And when you wake up, we in reality.
Right.
Only time you can experience that Martin Luther King dream is in your sleep. We are destroyed as a people. Go ahead.
Saying, let us go and make a covenant.
Say that again.
Let us go and make a covenant.
One more time.
Let us go and make a covenant.
That's
with
it right there. Let us go and make a covenant. Let us go make a pact. Let us go make an agreement. Let us go shake hands. Let us hug. Let us walk hand in hand. Little white girls and little black boys holding hand in hand, all of that bull crap. Let us go and make a covenant. Go ahead.
With the heathen.
With the who?
With the heathen.
And we do this every time we allow all of these other nations into our neighborhoods.
Right.
To sell us garbage. You understand? We go and make covenants with the heathen. We go make covenants with the oppressor. Whenever you vote for your oppressor, you're making a covenant with the heathens.
Right.
That's making a covenant with the heathens. Think about it, right? They fought all those years for civil rights, and the Asians stepped right up and used civil rights to their advantage, and in 2 weeks get an Asian hate law passed. Right. Brothers and sisters been getting murdered since we stepped on these shores of America, and we still can't get a law to protect us. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
A couple of Asians got hurt, knocked over the head. and they automatically got an Asian hate law. I mean, how blind can we be as a people? Listen, this is real black history.
Right.
You understand? This is not cake and candy right here. This is real black history. You understand? Look at what we accept. Making covenants with the heathen and still not receiving anything. Every nation steps in and benefits off of civil rights but us. Think about this too, right? A lot of brothers and sisters think we actually are citizens of the United States.
Right.
But let me ask a question. Are not the European citizens of the United States?
No.
They citizens, right? When last time you seen the Europeans fight for civil rights? Because they citizens. As a citizen, you are naturally given civil rights. That's not something you have to fight for. So if you got to fight for civil rights, that should automatically tell you you are not considered a citizen of the United States.
Right.
In the Constitution, it tells us that we 3/5 of a person, right? So 3/5 of a person can't be a citizen. You understand what I'm saying? Can't be a citizen. There we go. See, black history. This is real black history. This is the history of our people right here.
Right.
You understand? Our history starts way back. The Bible is our history. But this history that they giving us is clouding our mind. So we got to give real history to uncloud the mind. You ever heard the thing about it, right? They always talk about brainwashing, right? If you wash something, what do? You clean it, right? So we need to be brainwashed because we need that filth of America to be washed from our brain.
That's right.
That propaganda from America needs to be washed from our minds. We need to be brainwashed. And the only way you're going to get brainwashed, you come into this truth.
That's right.
Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. You understand? That's it. All of us had filthy minds at one time.
Right.
Well, in the school anyway. You understand? Till we came into the school and got brainwashed. You understand? Read on.
Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us.
That are round about us means we are in the midst of the heathen. The heathens are round about us.
Right.
We got the Asians, got the Africans, we got the Ishmaelites, which is the Arabs. We got who's that? Elam, which is the East Indians. You understand? Japanese, Chinese, everybody's around us. Everybody's feeding off of us because we making covenants. We allowing them to come into our neighborhoods and feed off of us. We shaking hands and making covenants. They don't allow us to come into their neighborhoods and feed off of them. They don't allow us to come into their neighborhoods and build businesses. They don't allow us to come into their neighborhoods and send our children to college off of the money that we get from them.
Right.
So why do we do it? Because we are destroyed as a people. You understand? Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say the same exact thing you just said, sir. It's like, it's part of the curse.
Exactly. You understand? We just destroyed. Just destroyed. You understand? Go ahead. Read on.
For since we have departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
Say that again.
For since we have departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
For since we have departed from them, we have had much sorrow. We can't live without them. We need them. We need them to survive.
Right.
You understand? This is the propaganda that we tell ourselves. We can't survive without them. Hey, listen, let me ask. Have you ever heard people say, man, if it ain't no police, man, we'd kill our own selves? Have you ever heard that? Meaning what?
Meaning, in other words, they're saying that we need somebody to police us. We need somebody to be over us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We need somebody to put their foot on our neck.
Right.
We need somebody to kick us and kill us to keep us in line. Think about this, right? Basically, what you're saying is, I can't police my own household. Basically, what you're saying is, I can't police my block.
Right.
I can't police my neighborhood. I can't police my community. I can't police my city.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? We need help. We are helpless, basically, is what we telling people. You understand? If the police wasn't here, we would destroy our own. This is part of Black history.
So like,
Go ahead.
like even when you talk to Christians or black people, so-called black people that just love America, you know what I'm saying? And you tell them that, you're an Israelite, God chosen people, God, Lord don't want you intertwined with all these other people, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like, so what you gonna do? I remember a cat leaned on me, tried to lean on me anyway. He was like, what you gonna do? You work for the white man.
Right.
How you gonna eat? Why don't you just don't do nothing, do your own thing?
Right.
I'm trying to explain to them it don't work like that, you know what I'm saying? But that's what they think. So we need to have an oppressor. We need to be oppressed to survive.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's pretty much what they're saying in a nutshell. So like,
and listen, this is just like I said, this is basically not the first. This is not the only time. This has been happening to us all the way through history. We've always felt like, hey, the cherry. We've always felt like we've needed people to police us or to control us. You understand what I'm saying? We got to understand that we have the power to police ourselves. You understand? The Most High we have the law, statutes, and commandments. No other nation of people have what we have. You understand? These laws, statutes, and commandments were not given to any other nation. They were only given to Israel. We are Israel. We are the true Jews of the Bible. This Bible was written about us. You understand? And we have to take this Bible and we have to use these laws, statutes, and commandments to our own benefit. Every nation uses these laws, statutes, and commandments. I'm not going to say every nation, but you have people who use these to their advantage, to take advantage of us.
right.
You understand what I'm saying? We got to understand that this book was for us to be in control of the planet. You understand? Every nation is supposed to follow our lead, but instead we follow every other nation's lead. You understand? No, I'm good. Yeah. That was perfect. Yeah. You good. You understand? So we got to understand that we have the power. You understand what I'm saying? So now we're going to hit Ecclesiastes. Shoot, which way did I go? 7 and 7. Right? This is a milk scripture right here. Right? This is a milk scripture right here. Go ahead.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes 7, verse 7. Chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
Did you hear that? It says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. Listen, we get out here and we speak the way we speak because we are upset. We upset because we see what's happening to our people.
Right.
We see how we being manipulated by our leaders, the people who are supposed to be leading us, the people who are supposed to alert us to dangers. You understand? I think that's upstairs. They supposed to alert us to danger, but we see that they don't do that. You understand? Because they are comfortable in America in the positions that they have. So they sell us out to America to stand and hold their positions. You understand what I'm saying? They sell us out so that they can be comfortable. You understand? I mean, think about it, right? Everybody that is a leader in America that is of Israel, of the 12 tribes of Israel, live comfortable. But how can you live comfortable if you see your brothers and sisters being destroyed on the street?
Right.
You understand? It says, oppression maketh a wise man mad. Read on.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
Say that again.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
That's it right there. A gift destroyeth the heart. You understand? Meritorious manumissions is a gift.
Right.
You understand? And that's a gift that destroys the heart of our people. You understand what I'm saying? So much so that they sell us out. Meritorious manumissions. Think about it, right? We said meritorious manumissions was what?
The like the action.
Told of a uprising.
Oh yeah, snitching.
Snitching.
Talking about a revolt.
A revolt.
After somebody catch slaves.
Catch slaves.
Shit, possibly even being a bed.
So think about this then, right? Those 5 brothers that killed Tyree Nichols. That was meritorious manumission. Why did we say that?
Right.
Why do we say that? Because they felt like they were going to be rewarded for killing a slave, not understanding that they are slaves themselves.
Right.
See, they looked at the customs and the culture of the oppressor and took on the customs and culture of the oppressor. And when we take on the customs and culture of the oppressor, we soon destroy ourselves.
Right.
They destroyed themselves by taking on the customs and culture of the oppressor, thinking that they were going to get meritorious manumission. Did you see the brothers up? After they let the brother lay there and die, did you see how they was acting? Like, oh man, wow. You understand? Like, this is normal.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But the thing that we have to understand is we are not the oppressor.
Right.
So we don't get the benefits of the oppressor. Listen, it says oppression maketh the wise man mad, but a gift destroyeth the heart. Those brothers' hearts were destroyed for the gift that they were given. What was the gift that they were given?
The right to be slave catchers in modern day.
The right to be slave catchers in the modern day. Given the gift that they were given was a badge and a uniform.
That's right.
Oppression maketh the wise man mad, but a gift destroyeth the heart. Now them brothers are destroyed. You understand what I'm saying? Them brothers are destroyed. So now let's move to the next one, right? Have you ever heard of Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion of 1638?
It's like I have, sir.
Go ahead. What is that?
It was make sure I'm saying it. If I'm not mistaken, sir, it was a law passed to not allow black people to buy land in Maryland. Am I correct? Or build in Maryland? Build property on their land or
Yeah,
land?
that could be right. That could be right. No, I mean, yeah, you can use that.
Okay.
You can use that. I mean, that's encapsulated in it.
Okay, no.
Yeah. Yeah, that's encapsulated in it.
Okay.
Give me some more.
That's all I can remember at the moment, sir. So
All right. The Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion was a law created in 1638. And the Doctrine of Exclusion clearly states that no slave, descendant of a slave, or black person shall enjoy the fruits of white society. Right? Now, let me explain something to you before I go any further. The first one we did was meritorious manumissions, right? Now, the reason why I want you to, you really got to take notes and you really have to write things down. You really have to, if you can screen capture a lot of this stuff, because a few years back when I did, before I came into the UPK, I used to study a lot of this, right? It was easy to pull it up on the internet and the whole joint would come out about everything that we talked about, all the stuff. But now it's getting more harder to pull it up, and they're starting to erase a lot of stuff off of the internet, especially when it comes to what's that what's the thing they taking out of schools?
slavery?
No, the what's the
race
critical race theory, right? Because of the critical race theory, a lot of stuff they starting to take off the internet. And because when I used to pull this stuff up, it used to just pop up and all the information would pop up. I went to pull it up yesterday and it was hard for me to get all of the information, because there's a whole slew of information on it. You understand what I'm saying? And even those slave codes, you understand the slave codes that come with it, right? A lot of this stuff is hard to find. So when you find a lot of this stuff, you really got to document it and try to capture it, or a lot of this stuff, because they taking a lot of stuff off. Did you look up the Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion of 1638?
Sir, it's jumping all over the place, like you said. I'm putting 1638.
Like I said, a lot of the stuff they taken off, because that critical race theory is starting to nudge a lot of our brothers and sisters, and starting to wake a lot of our brothers and sisters up. And a lot of this stuff they don't want, because they want to keep us asleep, because they want to continue to feed off of us. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of this stuff you have to really capture a lot of this stuff. A lot of these, like this book right here that I got right here, is Black Labor, White Wealth, Dr. Claude Anderson. He got another book, Powernomics, and I'm gonna get into something that he had in Powernomics too, right? But before we get into that, I want to get on this doctrine of Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion of 1638. Go ahead.
I got I guess a summarized version.
Go ahead.
Of what it says, sir.
Go ahead.
It's from a page on Facebook, Wilmington on Fire. So
Right.
Wilmington, Delaware.
Right.
So it says the 1638 Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion. The Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion was collectively written by Maryland Colony Council in 1638.
Right.
And states the following: neither the existing black population,
Right.
their descendants,
Right.
nor any other black shall be permitted to enjoy the fruits
Of white society. Listen, check this out. It started in Maryland, and then it spread it through all the colonies. Basically, all of the colonies used that as a base. They used that as the base formula, and then added on what they needed to add on to it. You understand what I'm saying? But think about this, right? It says that we shall not enjoy the fruits of white society. What is the fruits of white society? This is Black history right here. This is the real Black history. Go ahead.
Some of the fruits of white society is just being able to be an oppressor, like a literal oppressor, not like how we use it. We use it as, to identify a group of people.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, like, being an oppressor, like you aren't able to oppress another nationality and get away with it and profit from it.
I want you to think like a white person now.
Okay.
Right? Listen now. It says, enjoy the fruits of white society.
Oh, Salaki, I got you, sir. You won't be able to enjoy the slave labor of your forefathers, like people like we are.
You touching on it. No, you close though, right? Enjoy the fruits. Think of a tree. You grow a tree, right?
Right.
And then the tree sprouts fruit, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden you get to take that fruit off of that tree, and you get to sit back and enjoy the sweetness and the succulentness of that fruit. Right? So think about the fruits of white society. How is white society enjoying that fruit?
Money.
That's true, right? But let's go a little deeper. All right, I'm gonna give it to you, right? I'm gonna give you part of it, right? How many football teams are owned by black people?
None.
How many oil fields are owned by black people?
None.
How many supermarkets are owned by black people?
Maybe one. Not a big one either, if that.
How many malls are owned by black people?
None that I know of, sir.
How many gas stations are owned by black people?
None.
Listen, all of these things that we just named can build a society and grow a people. Enjoying the fruits of white society is being able to own something that can benefit you, your son, your son's son, and his son's son. Let's take Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys, right? What was his, what was his fruit?
His group was owning a football team. It's owning a football team.
Right. So what was the tree?
Slaves.
Nah.
Is that true?
I mean,
The players?
that's the fruit.
Okay, come on.
Remember, the team is a fruit,
Right.
right? But his tree was oil.
Oh, it's a lot. Okay.
Owning those oil fields helped him buy that team. Owning that helped him enjoy this. You understand?
Okay.
Helped him to be able to step in and say, no, I want this player. No, I want him. No, he's playing for us. No, you can't kneel. You kneel when I say you can kneel.
Right.
Having that gave him this fruit, gave him this power. The fruit is power. You understand what I'm saying? His family stealing oil fields. The Native American Indians owned this country.
Right.
And came over and stole it. You understand?
Right.
So, in essence, what they're saying is no matter what happens in America, we can't allow these people to own land. We can't allow them to own oil fields. We can't allow them to own anything that can help them advance past us. This is the fruits of white society, not just being able to have a little corner store to take care of your immediate family. But see, they got so much money that they can take care of everybody. Think about Jeff Bezos. Think about Elon Musk. These are some of the richest people on earth. Is that Elon Musk who has more money than all of the black people in America?
Probably.
Ain't he the third richest person in the world, right?
He's definitely in the field.
He can take care of his nation by himself. Black Wall Street. That was just a glimpse. All of those cities and towns that were around America after the Reconstruction. Think about it, right? Maybe 65, 75, 85, 95, 40 years after being free, we already had millionaires coming up from slavery. Had already had cities and towns thriving. Think about this. The Great Depression was in 1921, 1920, 1919, 1920, right? They were suffering through a Great Depression and we were thriving. Why was that?
Because we were segregated, sir.
We were segregated. Yeah. Grab me Zephaniah 2:1. Because we had to rely on us. You understand what I'm saying? The arrogance of the oppressor said, we don't even want y'all to be around. Go get y'all own.
Right.
You understand? You go over there and you go over there and we'll be over here and we have our own. Y'all have your own. And then guess what? They understood that we were the power. Right. And they realized that they hold the key. We have to destroy them. We have to put them under our foot. Right. You understand? They must be made to work. Ain't that what Christopher Columbus said about the Native Indians, right? Right. They must be made to work. You got that? Come on. Go ahead.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together.
One more time.
Gather yourselves together.
Read.
Yeah. Gather together, O nation not desired.
There you go right there, right? Listen, Most High telling us, listen, gather yourself together because these people do not desire you.
Right.
And because they do not desire you, if you go amongst them, you will be destroyed. Look at us. We are destroyed as a people.
Right.
You understand? This is Black history. Listen, the Bible is Black history. It's talking about the Israelites. We are the descendants of the greatest people that ever walked the face of this earth. They stole this history from us.
Right.
But the UPK is giving this history back.
That's right.
You understand? It's hard for a lot of us to believe that this book is about us because we've been so propagandized.
Right.
We've been so destroyed in the mind that we think everybody in this book is white.
Right.
This book is for white people. White people wrote this book. You understand? When clearly it says that Christ was black.
Right.
It says that God was black. The angels were black. You understand? But because we have been sold to our enemies by our leaders. You understand? It says, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men. We have been sold to our enemies by wicked men. You understand? That we don't believe that this book is about us. It can't be. And you know what? You listen, check this out. You know what other propaganda really destroys us? Being a Jew. A lot of black people can't believe. I don't believe I'm a Jew. That's how we are. You know why? You know why?
Because the people that say they are Jews and are not,
but of the synagogue of Satan.
Synagogue of Satan, paraphrase. So like they they ran with it so well to where like we can't even see ourselves as being a great people. You get what I'm saying? And then for me personally, they just some disgusting people. And we're like, I'm not like them. Yeah, that's right. I'm not like them.
Right.
You know? That's all I got on this, sir.
Listen, they have destroyed the image so much so that when you see them, and you've been seeing them for so many years, and they've been saying we are the Jews, and you see that ugly lock hanging down, you see them funny looking faces,
right.
You see them walking around like this in black suits and fluffy hats. They have destroyed the image so much so that when the truth comes out, people, I'm not a Jew. I can't be that.
Right.
Because we think that that's how Jews really dressed.
Right.
So in our minds, we can't be that country. That's nope, that ain't me. You know what? I'm gonna stick with African. That's what we do. This is the reason why we've jumped out of the pan and into the fire. You understand what I'm saying? Because the image, they have totally destroyed the image of what a real Jew is. When we read the book, when we read the Bible tells us what a real Jew is. This Bible is history. This is real Black history. It should never be another book read before the Bible is read in Black History Month. The Bible should always be read before any other book, any other history of anybody else before.
Right. That's right.
We have to rebuild the image. We have to rebuild the minds of our people because we've been destroyed. Like I said, through through meritorious manumissions, the doctrine of exclusion, all of these things, all these slave codes, all of these things have destroyed us over the years. And we always look at what they do is they give you Black History Month and they show you the little pieces and bits of the good that Black people did throughout the time of slavery. They don't tell you about where we were before slavery. They don't tell you how we got into the west coast of Africa. They don't tell you how we migrated down into Africa. They don't tell you why we migrated down into Africa. The only thing they tell you is what? We got captured out of Africa. And so the first thing they say, the first thing that goes into your mind when they say they captured us from Africa is, oh shit, we must be Africans.
Right. Right.
You see what I'm saying? A lot of leaders out there, a lot of those old leaders know who we are, but they refuse to tell us. You know why? Because then their pockets will not be lined.
Right.
Because they will be giving a hard truth, and then they won't get money from all those women.
Right.
They won't get the respect and the love. They'll be just like us. You understand? Then they really got to tell the truth and win the people over for real. This is a hard job right here. Getting your people to believe the truth. It's easy to get people to believe a lie. The hardest thing in the world is to get people to believe the truth, especially a people who don't know their history. You understand? A people who believe in they everything but what you telling them. We think we everything. We think we Buddhists. We think we 5%ers. We think we Muslims. We think we Africans. We think we Christians. We'll be everything but what God made us. Think about this, right? You can be sworn into all of those things, but you can only be born into this.
Right.
You understand? We was born in, not sworn in. You understand what I'm saying? To be a Jew, you have to be born. Your blood has to be of Jew blood. Right. You have to be of the tribe of Judah or of Simeon or of Issachar or of Naphtali. Asher. You know, all of that. You understand what I'm saying? This is not something that you can just say, you know what? I won't be this today. You understand? That's what you can do with all those other religions. Right. This is not a religion. This is a way of life. That's the difference. See, everybody look at that Bible and say, oh, that's a religion. That's religion. That's religion. Properly read, you find out that it's a way of life. You understand? The Maryland doctrine of exclusion takes everything that we are and destroys it. You understand? They took everything, like I said, it says it doesn't allow us to enjoy the fruits of white society. Right? You can't enjoy the fruits of white society. So you have to enjoy the crumbs from your master's table. And those crumbs also include the black history that they give us. And we enjoy that. Right. We enjoy those crumbs. Instead of finding out, or instead of going to get the whole loaf, we enjoy the crumbs that they drop from the table. Right. This is real black history. You understand? Maryland doctrine of exclusion. Let's go. What did we read just now?
We just read
Zephaniah.
Zephaniah 2:1, sir.
We finished that?
Come.
Okay, let's go back to Psalms 55 and 20. And remember, right? We just talked about trusting our oppressor. We talked about that earlier, right? Oppression maketh a wise man mad, but a gift destroyeth the heart. Says Zephaniah 2:1, gather yourself together, gather together, O nation not desired. We got to understand that we are a nation of people not desired. Right? Read what you got.
Come, sir. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 20. He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him.
That's trust right there. Right? Native American Indians trusted in the oppressor. You understand what I'm saying? Nation, the Gadites trusted in our oppressor. He put forth his hand as such that be at peace with him. The oppressor went to war with a peaceful people, right? A people that trusted in him. We read the scripture. Did we read that scripture? No, we didn't even read that scripture yet. We ain't even read that. The scriptures tell us what? Trust not thine enemy. Never trust thine enemy. And that's the problem with us as a nation of people. Listen, we have more trust in all the other nations than we do in our own nation. Right. We trust in every nation. We trust the Asians. We trust the Arabs, all these people in our neighborhood. We trust the Africans. We trust the East Indians, and none of these people trust us. Right. All of these people go to war with us, don't they? Okay. How do they go to war with us?
Right now, sir, if I could, right now, they're doing it economic. I mean, they still do violence, for sure, but economically, for sure, like they definitely gonna make it.
You hit that right on the money. economically, right? Every nation sells to us, but no nation buys from us. You understand? Every nation puts forth their hands against us, and we be at peace with them. Every nation feeds off of us. There is no nation that does not benefit from the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. Because we are so destroyed. We are so trusting. We are so loving. We give away so much of ourselves to other nations that we don't have enough to give to our own people. This is the reason why we fight and we destroy and we kill and we rob our own. Because all of the love that we give to all these other nations, we have nothing left to give our own people. You understand? This is the reason why Black Wall Street thrived the little bit of time that it did. But again, Black Wall Street was destroyed because Black Wall Street didn't live by the law, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
You understand? So it was destined that all of those cities and towns fell because wasn't following the law, statutes, and commandments. And just like us as a people, just like us as a nation, we get on top and we like to flaunt and flow. You understand what I'm saying? All the millionaires. You don't believe that they were showing their tail?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? This ain't nothing that we just started in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, or the 80s. This ain't nothing that we just started. We've been doing this since the beginning. You understand? We've been doing this since the beginning. This is just how we are.
Right.
You understand? But until we come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, everything that we build is going to always fall.
Right.
This is the reason why we go out there on them streets and we talk the way we do. This is the reason why we try to draw our people in and give them the truth. You understand? Let them know that if we come back to this is what's going to put us on top.
Right.
This is how we're going to own all of Lexington Market. This is how we're going to own all of downtown Baltimore. You understand?
Yeah.
Think about it. Imagine you and somebody else owning that football stadium. Imagine two other brothers owning that baseball stadium. Imagine building up those projects for our people. Imagine putting good housing in. You understand? Imagine cutting the prices of what they living under.
Right.
And being able to give them the best for the less.
Right.
You understand? Think about it. You understand? Think about it. University of Maryland, those houses that are right on the other side of Martin Luther King, they built all of those houses up for doctors and nurses.
Right.
And gave them all kinds of benefits. How did they do that? How did they do that?
Oh, because they already had they already got they already positioned. They live off of us.
But I'm gonna give you an example, right? They say they don't have to pay no water bill down there, right?
Right.
Then what they do to the people in the neighborhood, instead of you paying your water bill once every 3 months, now you paying your water bill every month.
Right.
Same water bill, but now you paying it every month instead of once every 3 months.
Right.
So you mean to tell me water went up like that?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? We gonna do this for you. We're gonna make you pay this so that you can live like this. Well, this is what we need to be doing for our people. You understand? This is what we need to do for our people. See, they put forth their hand as such against the people that is at peace with them.
Right.
We are at peace with them, but they don't give a damn. This is real Black history. And we have to understand that we are at war. Think about it, right? The scripture just said what? Gather yourself together, gather yourself together, O nation not desired.
Right.
We have to understand that we are at war. And that's the problem. Because America lets you go around and now you can smoke weed on the street. Now you can have a certain amount. You understand? Now you can get high and not get locked up. You understand? We think we in heaven. This is a war.
Right. You
understand? At the end of the day, the very thing that you think they're giving you for your benefit is the very thing that's going to destroy us. Right. America always has something, up their sleeve. I mean, think about it, right? They did the Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion in 1638, and that law is still standing today. We don't own anything in America. We buy from every nation in America, but nobody buys from us. Think about it, right? We this law is still standing today, and black people think, oh, that law ain't, that's an old law. That law ain't, we got stores, because you see one black person with a little corner store. Oh, we got stores, we got a lot of stores out here. No, we don't. We don't got anything that can sustain a nation. Think about it, right? White people got welfare that at any time they can go to the welfare office and say, look, I'm tired of living around these people right here. I need this and I need that. And they can get it. You got to fill out all kinds of paperwork, and then you got to go on the list and wait for years and years and years before your joint pop.
Right.
They can go in there and just get it just like that. What do you think they're doing with the Afghans and Ukrainians? They fast tracking them. They already in Airbnbs. They kicking black people out of public housing to put them in. We are at war.
Right.
Think about it. They put their hands against the people that are at peace with them. Black people got comfortable in that public housing. Now they're getting kicked out. This is a war.
Right.
Go ahead. What you great say?
Like the General Yohana was saying last night, you know what I mean, touching on what you were saying, we don't have an industry to sustain us as a people. So like, yeah, you got brothers and sisters that got, you know, they going all right financially. They got stores, boutiques,
right,
and all that. But that's not an industry, because you pretty much are buying everything from the other people to sell anyway. So it's not an industry that can sustain us.
Well, think about it, right? The Asians come over here, right? And they get let's say a Chinese store, right? Where they selling Chinese food, right? They making, let's say $10,000 a week, $10,000 a week, $40,000 a month, right? They can barely speak English. All they can do is count money, right? How much money did they save up in China to come over here and get that store? None. You're right, none. But our people think, oh, well, they deserve that because they saved up their money, not realizing that they got fast tracked and placed into your neighborhood so that they could feed off of you.
Right.
They don't save no money up in China.
Right.
They can barely speak the English language. They ain't saved up nothing to come over here. They got placed. They made a deal with America. China made a deal with America to do this. That's the deal.
Right.
You understand?
Okay.
They get vouchers to get started. And once they get started, they get pumping and don't get taxed. So all those nail salons you see everywhere, that's money that was given to them by the United States.
Right.
But our sisters get those same hair nail salons and got to charge extra. Why? Because they get taxed.
Right.
And they don't get that bulk warehouse price that those Asians get when they go in all together and buy all of that stuff all together at a cheaper price. Our sisters got to work harder.
Right.
That's the reason why we shouldn't support those Asians. We should be supporting our sisters. Our sisters need to start it off working out of the house, doing all of those sisters' hair, nails, all of that stuff out of the house. Let all them Asian stores fall apart.
Right.
You get that Asian store, now everybody starts supporting you. I don't care how many Asian stores around. That's what we're supposed to do. This is the reason why the scriptures say, gather yourself together. Yeah, gather together. O nation not desired, because the Asians hate us.
Right.
That's why they come into our neighborhoods and take our money and take from us.
Right.
You understand? This is the reason why you got that Maryland doctrine of exclusion, because they know if they place those Asians in there, all those black businesses are going to fall. Because of why? Because we support other nations before we support our own. This is the reason why you got the Maryland doctrine of exclusion. This is the reason why stuff like that works so well. Works so well because we hate our own.
That's right.
But what did we say earlier? Because we love the other nations so heavily that we don't have any more love left to give our own people. Think about it, right? Asians can beat the hell out of a sister up in New York in a hair store, and then everybody come out like they're gonna boycott it. They put up a half price off sale, and then everybody drop their signs and say, "All right, you know what? It's over." Because we got love, we got more love for the other nations and no love for our own people. You understand? Go ahead, finish reading that.
This book of Psalms, chapter 55 and 20. He had put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him.
Go ahead.
He had broken his covenant.
He had broken his covenant. Think about it, right? Our oppressor never held the covenant. Even with us, we always talk about the native Indians, but even with us, they don't hold the covenant. You understand what I'm saying? Think about the civil rights. Oh, we're going to make a civil rights bill. We're going to do this, and we're going to do this for black people. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. This is a covenant right here. Think about this. What did we hear? Police reform. We're going to do something about the police reform. We're going to make it better. We're going to make it better. Brothers and sisters still getting murdered and killed.
Right.
You understand? You don't see no other. I have yet to see an Asian get murdered and killed in the street. I haven't yet to see an East Indian get murdered and killed in the street. Even think about it, right? Even when 9/11 happened, how many Arabs did you see get dragged in the street and shot and killed and murdered by police? None. Listen, we at war. You understand? We at war. And you know what? With that, we at Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. Been bringing this truth since 1969. And what is that truth? That truth is that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the true Jews of the Bible, and the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. With that, I'm going to turn the class over to Priest Officer Nadarwan. All right.
Let's clap it up for that priest and officer in the thumb. All right, security announcements. We the Isupk out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. Rules for new rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves to the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry.